Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a blessed morning. If you're in the stormy weather, stay safe out there. Otherwise, let's go ahead and bring on our co-host, Mr. Dolphin Winters. How you doing, my brother?
Good morning, Brother Paul. What's going on, and how are you today?
Same shit, different day.
You ain't never lied.
Let's bring on our middle-aged wonder, Mr. Johnny O.
Yo, Johnny.
What's up, gents? How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
So what we got going on today besides the big upset yesterday of Washington over Detroit Lions?
Well, shit, we can start off right there. I mean, damn, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with myself. I had Detroit winning this game, and I couldn't believe what I watched. And I'm going to tell you something. Washington is hot at the right time. They went into Tampa Bay and beat a Tampa Bay team in Tampa. They went into the number 1 seed, Detroit Lions, and beat them soundingly. It wasn't like it was any foul play, any crazy calls. They beat them. Interceptions, great plays on defense, great plays on offense, and their quarterback. This kid is a rookie. This kid is for real. This kid has ice in his veins, and he was so calm during the game. You could see how his demeanor was very calming. He told the team, just relax. We're going to be fine. And he literally was a leader in that game.
Yeah, Washington played about as close to a perfect game as you could. Their defense stepped up when it needed to. When Detroit got the opening kickoff and took it all the way down there, they held them to 3 points, and then the next drive they held them to 3. I'm like, Detroit's got to score touchdowns. You're not playing, this ain't week 1. This is the playoff. You can't be settling for field goals, and it came back to bite them in the ass at the end of the game because Washington's defense, man, the longer the game went, the better they got, putting all kinds of pressure on Goff, making him move, getting him out of rhythm, and Daniels, I agree the kid is good, but it's year 1. I always judge a quarterback on year 2 when the league figures out what they're doing and how they're doing it. So, yeah, he's playing phenomenal ball, and they are a dangerous team right now because they got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Nobody expected them to be where they're at. Nobody expected them to. If you look at the betting, most people bet on Tampa. You look at the betting, most people bet on Detroit, and Washington's beat them both in their house.
You look at it, they were only picked to win 5 or 6 games this year.
Yeah, now they're in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's think about this for a second. They broke their actual playoff record by scoring 45 points in the playoff game, and that was a record that was held for 33 years. So, Magic Johnson, owner, he's got them boys playing. And it's a different Washington Commanders team, especially with Dan Quinn taking it over. The man, let's think about this for a second. He did take Atlanta to the Super Bowl not that long ago. So it's not like he don't know how to get there.
Oh, absolutely. And Washington's playing good football in both playoff games. I mean, the announcers want to sit there and say, oh, Detroit, they have 11 starters out because of injury. Listen, they won 15 games and they were snake bitten all year with injuries and still were able to win 15 games. But Washington just played one hell of a game.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I missed both games yesterday, so I'm just going by what you all said and the highlights I caught and stuff.
Well, we'll start off. We can go right to the Kansas City and Texans game where Kansas City, I'm going to tell you this, man. Kansas City does what they do, but they didn't look that majorly impressive yesterday. Houston had opportunities. They just couldn't capitalize on some of the opportunities that they had yesterday. CJ Stroud played as good as he could. He got injured in the first quarter where the guy, one of the defenders, actually did like a shoestring tackle on him. And he probably wasn't the same sense, but I give that kid a lot of credit for hanging in there. And he hung in there all the way through to the very end. So I give him kudos. I really do. I really do. Uh-oh.
He's back. There you go. I agree. I mean, it was Kansas City didn't look phenomenal, but Kansas City looked the way they looked all year. They're able to win the close games. Their defense in the second half just got better and better and kept getting to CJ. And yeah, he got hurt early, and then he again late twisted his ankle on a sack, and you could see he was clearly limping. And Kansas City's defense won that game for him. The offense did enough to sustain drives and put some points on the board, but their defense won that game. And Kansas City does enough to win it. People want to cry and complain and say the refs are helping them. Listen, go back and watch it. There was on Mahomes' slide, he did take a slight forearm to the head, and that's illegal. So the flag is thrown. Stop crying about Kansas City getting all the calls. That drives me nuts.
Well, here you go. Scotty starts it off. The KC game was unwatchable. The slant in their favor from the refs was so blatant. Also, NFL in bed with Vegas on that safety. LOL.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the safety at the end of the game, yeah. The spread was 8.5, and they won the game by 9. So that tells you enough right there. Yeah, I peeped that. I definitely peeped that. I'm like, why did they go for the safety? And then I looked at my phone and I said, oh, now I see why they went for the safety.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we laid 2 pallets aside yesterday at my in-laws' house, so I was just sleeping half the afternoon away.
Nah, the pictures you put up of that look really nice. You guys did a hell of a job.
Well, I tell you what, it was my mother-in-law used to take care of it for years, but she can't take care of it. And my wife is just tired of trying to pull the weeds constantly. So we just sprayed it and then tilled it up some. And then we laid the sod out and it looks so nice. Such a big difference.
Yeah, look, those pictures look beautiful.
Johnny says the pictures look beautiful, honey.
No, we do not hire out.
She said, no, we do not hire out. So it was, I've been trying to stay busy around here. I'm seeing different articles, who we should sign, and there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts on a lot of those. Who we should sign and who we should get rid of. As we know, it's always, we got to wait and see, but it's fun to talk about on some of it.
True. That's true.
It's way too early to be worrying about that. You got to finish the season first. After the Super Bowl, then who's definitely free agents and who's going to look for go somewhere or maybe stay with their team. But to me, it's just I like to enjoy the playoffs and the end of the season before I start worrying about any of that stuff.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just like the three main ones they said we should sign back are Calais Campbell. That's if he wants to stay. Dotson and Ogba.
Yeah, I'd agree with those 3. I mean, especially Calais, if he wants to play, yeah. I mean, if he wants to stay in Florida, absolutely keep him. Ogba, if he's not going to go, wanting too much money, absolutely.
Yeah. Scotty saying the critical call in the KC game was a fake roughing the passer on Mahomes, even the announcers were blown away by the call.
His forearm struck his head. It wasn't hard, but it did hit him in the head, and he was sliding. So it's a penalty. If that was Tua and he slid, everybody would be wanting a flag. So it's not one-sided. It's not biased. Watch the damn plays. As he went down, two guys came in. One of them, he didn't do it on purpose. He wasn't trying to hit him in the head, but his forearm grazed the helmet. That's a penalty.
That's a penalty.
So it's not biased. It's the right call.
He's saying in the sack.
You're talking about the first play. He's talking about the first play when they called the roughing the passer the first play. I know exactly what you're talking about. Any contact with the head, they're going to call it. It don't matter who it is. Mahomes, the guy down the street. If you make any contact with the head, yeah, it was the sack on the third and 8. I know exactly what you're talking about, Scotty, but he made contact. So, we can bitch and moan about it all we want. The man made contact. And they're going to call it.
See, I always look at penalties when they call them. If that was our quarterback or our wide receiver, would we want it called? Yeah, well then it's a penalty. If it's blatant enough, yeah, it's a penalty. Do they miss some stuff? Absolutely. Do they take it looks ticky tack sometimes? Yes, absolutely. Does Mahomes get the benefit of the doubt? Sure, he does, just like Brady did for all those years.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. And the thing is, you look at the history, Mahomes always, if he cries about something, he gets a penalty flag thrown for him. He gets it in his favor so many times. It is what it is, but we just got to learn how to do better. Bless you.
Thank you. You want to win? Beat them.
Facts. Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. I am not a fan of Mahomes, not because of his wins, but to see him whine and cry so much, in a sense, about all these plays and all begging for calls, and he gets them half the time.
We went through the same shit. We went through the same shit with Brady. You didn't think we were going to go through the same shit with him. He does have 3 Super Bowls out of the last 4. As much as people don't want to fucking hear this, he is the new golden boy for the NFL. And if you think they're going to let that man get fucked up and sit there and fuck up their rating money and all that shit, y'all are sadly fucking mistaken. Y'all can cry and boo-hoo all y'all want to, but it is what the fuck it is.
Yep, he's the new face of the NFL, and they're going to protect him because that's where their money comes from.
Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, we can sit here and cry and talk about this in the comments or on here until we're blue in the fucking face. It ain't going to fucking change unless what you just said, Johnny. Beat them. That's
right.
what it comes down to. If you want them out of here, you can still tackle them in the midsection. Beat them. Beat them. You can still touch them. He can still be tackled, but you gotta fucking beat him, and that's just what it is.
And he doesn't get every call. I mean, he was running down the sideline and slowed down so he would get hit trying to get a penalty for a late hit, but he was still in bounds and he didn't get the call.
What I like about it is I like the fact that he came over to the guy and he said, "Look, it's all good," and they was like, "It's okay." You know what I mean? It wasn't like. Because I've seen this player trying to come to defend him, and that's what the player's supposed to do, come and defend him. But he sat there and, he's like, look, he said it wasn't dirty. You know what I mean? Let's play. Because he knew in his heart he slowed down. I know exactly what play you're talking about. So
he was trying to draw a penalty and didn't get it because he was still in bounds when he was pushed.
Right. So, so listen, we're going to sit here and scrutinize every fucking play that's on the TV screen for every team. We'll be here for days and ages. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's a part of the game. Period, point blank. We all know this is a part of the game. Either you're going to watch it or you're not going to watch it. But be prepared for the phantom calls. Be prepared for the BS calls. Be prepared for the, it must be this spread or is that spread. Be prepared for all that because we have talked about this on this podcast for now a couple years about how gambling and Vegas and all that has affected the game. And that's not just football, that's all sports.
Oh, absolutely. But here's my take on it: is everybody wants to complain about Vegas, and I do too at sometimes, and I'm like, man, that was a bad call. But
Right.
there was bad calls in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s before Vegas even got involved. You could watch a game and be like, damn, how do they not call that holding? How did they not see that? Until they put, you know, another referee in with a monitor in front of them to go over every single play in between the plays, this is the way it's going to be. It's human nature. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to make bad calls, good calls, missed calls.
And you said between 9:30 and 10. Really?
No, I'm not driving all the way over there to drive all the way back. They don't have that much stuff. Sorry. My my youngest grandson's birthday party's today, so
Right.
my daughter-in-law and son are going over to decorate the place, and they said they don't have a lot to do. My wife said, "Oh, we should go help them." I'm like, they said they didn't have that much to do. I'm not driving a half hour away to drive a half hour home to then drive back there for 1:00.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
I don't blame you. Scotty says, "Isn't that what we do with the Fins? Scrutinize every play." Yes, we do.
Sure, we do. And if these calls were against Tua, guys hitting him or, hitting him in the back of the head, the side of the head, we'd want it called too. So, that's how I look at it. If I want it called for Tua, then it should be called. Listen, there's times I'm sitting in the stands and they make a call and I'm like, oh, that's a bad call. He didn't do that. And then they show the replay. I'm like, no, see, he didn't, but we got the call. We'll take it. If we don't get the call and it was there, then you're mad. I mean, it's just, that's the way it goes.
Double-edged sword.
Today we have Buffalo and Baltimore. And what's the other game?
Eagles and Rams.
Eagles and Rams.
That's the first game. The Eagles and Rams are the first game at 3:00, and then we got Baltimore and Buffalo at 7. Was it 7 or 6:30? Something like that.
6:30, I think it is. Hold on, I'll check right now, but I think it's 6:30.
Yeah. I picked the Rams on that one because I think the Rams are in a momentum. They had the momentum going with them at the right time of the year.
The key thing about that game is Saquon Barkley for the Philadelphia Eagles. The key thing for the Rams is, can they play in the elements and keep that momentum going up in Philadelphia during a snowstorm? So, I mean, it really could go either way because both teams got to play in the elements. It's going to favor Philly because Philly is used to the elements. But thing about it is, with the Rams coming up here and playing for a purpose, besides the Super Bowl, they're playing for millions of people that lost their homes. The way I look at it is this: the game is going to be much closer than what people think it is. With the weather, the weather's definitely going to be a factor. It's going to be a definite factor because it's going to be during the heaviest of the snowstorm that we're getting up here in Philly. So that game really is going to come down to the running game and special teams. So we'll see how that thing plays out.
Yeah, depending on how much snow they get, depending on, how well they're going to be able to move the ball and score. And the running game is going to be huge in this if it's snowing the way they're saying it's going to be. So
10 to 20 mile an hour winds down there in that area. The winds are much stronger, and it's an open area down there in South Philadelphia. So it's definitely going to sit there. The weather, the winds, the snow, it's going to be a factor. So Philly should win. But I'll say this. After watching this game, after watching these games over the weekend, it's a who's who. You just don't know.
Yep. Listen, I mean, Baltimore and Buffalo, it's supposed to be cold as hell, some winds. I don't think they're supposed to get snow. I think it's down below them. They might. But that game too, the elements are going to have a lot to do with that game, and that kind of favors Baltimore with Henry as their running back pounding the ball. I think if Henry goes over 100 yards, Baltimore wins the game.
I said this the other day, Johnny O. I said Baltimore did not have a running game. They had 3 injured running backs the last time they faced Buffalo in the playoffs. Now, when you got a guy like King Henry in the backfield, that actually might be the nucleus, just like how it is for Philadelphia and Saquon Barkley. When you have a power back and you got somebody that's like a problem, a beast like that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a major problem for that Buffalo defense. And I already know, they know, okay, you put 8 in the box, Lamar can sit there and beat you with his arm. And that's another running threat as well. So they can sit there and do a whole shitload of running against this Buffalo, because Buffalo is not good against the run. They are not. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out.
And that's the intriguing thing about this game is you got Lamar and Henry who can run, but on the other side, you got Josh Allen and who's their runner? Cook. They both can run. I mean, so it's whichever. To me, the game comes down to whose running game is the best is going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Scotty's asking if Bills Ravens game is the game of the year. It's one of the games of the year, yeah.
As of now, because honestly, we could get the rematch of Buffalo versus Kansas City, but it'll be in Kansas City this time, not in Buffalo. So we'll see after about 9:30 tonight. We'll see if this could be the game of the year. Actually, Scotty, I'll bet one for you. This game actually might determine who's the MVP this year.
That's what he's saying. Does this game basically decide the NFL MVP?
Yeah, it could.
One thing they got to look at is being in Buffalo, they could get lake effect snow up there.
I don't think they're supposed to. From what I read earlier, I don't think it's supposed to be snowing, but listen, the winds change just a little bit and all of a sudden you're getting snow. And, I saw a great meme yesterday. It had Lamar Jackson and Allen talking to each other about, this game and saying, well, the loser of this game is going to be considered a fraud because they haven't done anything in the playoffs, and the winner gets to go on and play Kansas City in Kansas City. So, you lose next week and you're a fraud again. So,
yeah, exactly.
Roski Bear joined us. He's asking, did you guys see Dan Campbell crying after the game? Amazing.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sad ending to a great story, but
yeah,
they got
Super Bowl bullets.
Yeah, and they got beat. I mean, Washington did what they had to do. Washington played one hell of a game.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Scott is asking who's ours MVP, do we think?
What, for the Dolphins?
No, he's talking about for the league.
Oh. See, I still go with Lamar. I think Lamar has had a better overall year. So, I mean, statistically, they're very close. You could have co-MVPs. It's happened before.
Well, the young kid out of Washington is going to get the rookie of the year for me.
Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel.
And I second with you. I'm going with Lamar over Josh Allen. Because, I mean, my whole thing is they're trying their hardest and their damnedest to give Josh Allen the MVP. But I'm taking Lamar over Josh Allen because, I'm sorry, we don't do Buffalo anywhere in here. That's number one. And number two, like I said earlier, we don't do Buffalo in here. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen.
As we all know, whoever wins today is getting the MVP.
Which I think is ridiculous. It should be, I think Lamar has had a better overall year. I mean, the stats are very close. If they came out and said it was co-MVPs, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I think Lamar did a little more for his team than Allen did. And I just, that's my opinion.
Right. It's going to be fun to watch. I'll be definitely watching both of them, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching both of them. They should both be exciting games. Just praying no injuries for either teams, and just to all the fans that are traveling to those games, just have safe travels up and back. Like that's the key things.
Yeah, go a bit slow and drive slow.
Right. Yeah, Scotty, I know it hurt you to say Allen, bro, but I ain't doing it. I can't, man. It's nah.
Obviously, Broski Bayer doesn't like Dan Campbell. He's saying, what a big baby, a big cry baby. Well, that's the way I look at Mahomes, is a big baby, a big cry baby. But, that's
right.
To each their own opinion.
I mean, shit. Josh Allen is the best player in the league right now. Saquon is the second best player in the league. I mean, that's a good opinion to have. Saquon, think about this for a second, Broski Bear. Saquon is running against probably the number one offensive line in the league with the Philadelphia Eagles. Something about the Philadelphia Eagles that I've known is they've been very, very dominant with the offensive line for well over a decade now. And that's something that they take major pride in, is having one of the best offensive lines in the league. So if you had a person like a Saquon running against that line, I think if you, myself, Papa Paul, and even Johnny O had an offensive line like that, we all could run for 100 yards every fucking week against that line. No, seriously, because that's one thing about that line. That line, it's dominant. It's dominant. It's a dominant offensive line.
Did you say 100 feet?
100 yards. You can run 100 yards. You got it.
No. I mean, listen, in any other year, Saquon would be, people would be talking about him for MVP, eclipsing 2,000 yards. But with the way Allen and Jackson have played this year, he's barely in the conversation at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shit.
I might be able to run 100 steps, but I don't know about 100 yards.
I mean, stupid take to you, but that's just my thoughts, Broski.
And it'd be more like a waddle for 100 feet for me. Renegade 76, thank you for joining us. Greer must hit a home run in this upcoming draft. I don't have a lot of faith in him, however. Well, he's hit some home runs in the drafts. It's just we haven't always used them properly because they've gone elsewhere and done great.
Yeah, that's part of our problem is, everybody, half the fan base hates Greer, and he has had some good draft picks. I think one year he missed on most of the draft, but other than that, and then we've got other guys that just didn't pan out. I mean, find me a GM who hits every pick. They don't. It's not going to happen. You're taking a college kid who was great in college and does his ability transfer to the NFL. Can he play with the big boys? He's no longer playing against, guys that have no chance at playing in the NFL. I mean, think about the percentage of guys that make it in the NFL from college. It's a very small percentage.
Absolutely.
So, some guys have the heart for it. Some don't. Some have the talent. Some don't. Find me a draft where you go back and look at the first 10 picks, and a year, 2 years, 5 years after the draft, you wouldn't say, well, we should have drafted this guy. Well, you didn't know he was going to turn into a superstar.
Right.
You got other guys that get drafted early and don't pan out. Look at the Chicago quarterback this year. To me, way overrated coming out of college. And yeah, he had a decent year, but he didn't show me anything fantastic, especially when you got Daniels in Washington doing what he's doing.
This kid. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you something, and I keep telling you guys, I don't really watch college football like that. I listen to you guys. I listen to people that do watch college football, and they said this kid was the truth in college. So to see him make the transition from college to the pros like this is amazing, because not every athlete can make that transition like that quick, that fast. And to see, like I said, his poise, that was impresses me the most, as he's a rookie quarterback in the NFL, and his poise, and you can see the team getting behind him. So that is definitely a sign of a leader. And that's what you want your quarterback to be. And we tell your quarterback can sit there and tell, hey, look, calm down. We still in this. We got this. As long as we execute, as long as we do what we're supposed to do, as long as we sit there and run the plays that we're supposed to play, we're going to be fine. And you clearly seen that. You seen that in the Tampa Bay game. He didn't sit there and falter. He didn't get shook up. It was just so coincidental that kick went in off the crossbar, off the upright. So the kid is phenomenal, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due, and I'm looking forward to see what he does against either Philly or the Rams. I really am, because I just got this funny feeling we're going to be having an NFC Championship game here next weekend in Philadelphia with Eagles versus Rams. I'm just saying that. I mean, Eagles versus Redskins. I'm just saying, but anything can happen. You just, the game still has to be played.
Real quick, Miss Relentless, thank you for joining us. All you folks on YouTube, be sure to hit like and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Mr. Relentless says, find me a GM that has missed as much as Greer. Well, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Holy cow. Go back and look at rosters. Go back and look at the drafts and see where some of these players are. It ain't just us. It's just that's our fan base. Because you only really look at one team. I say this all the time, and we've had people on our panel, the lady from Atlanta, their fan base is no different. Half of them love the quarterback, half of them hate him, half of them love the GM, half of them hate him. Our fan base is no different. It's just...
Renegade 76, I agree with you that Greer ignoring the offensive line is nothing short of criminal. I mean,
that I'll agree with, yes.
We all agree with that, I think.
But here's the question that I ask all the time, and Tom says it all the time. Who are you going to replace Greer with?
Yeah, because he had the biggest problem trying to find anyone as it was.
Right. So who are you going to replace? Who out there right now do you think that can walk into that front office in the Hard Rock and do a better job than what Greer has done? There's not many of them out there.
That wants to be there.
Right. That wants to be there, that can do a better job, that wants to work with the owner, the president, the vice president of player operations, and the coach, and give me a name on somebody you want to see come in. And don't say Dan Marino, because he's not doing it. It cracked me. I saw that all over Facebook this week. Dan Marino is the new GM. Folks, Dan Marino is not going to be the new GM. There's two reasons why. One, he's not going to tarnish his legacy. If he comes in and doesn't hit on picks and doesn't put a team together that can get in the playoffs and win playoff games, people are going to start to say, oh my God, he's doing a horrible job, and it's going to tarnish his reputation. And two, I've said this before, he could be listening. He drinks way too much to be sitting in the front office trying to make those decisions.
Does Tyreek Hill not want to play with Tua anymore?
I Tyreek that, man. Listen, I'm so done. I'm not even going to go into that, because that was the question that was approached to me every day last week while I was at work. And I said, listen, I'm just to a point with Tyreek. If you want to go, go. But you're not leaving money on the table. So my whole thing is, if you want to go, bro, go.
If there's another team that wants to pick up his contract the way it is, great. Take him. But yeah, there's no way we can afford to just let him go, because we lose money. Along with there's another player that we would lose money with, and I forget who it was.
Tua, you can't there's nothing going on with Tua. Tyreek, with that contract, I have a hard time believing that any team is going to pick up that contract. So he's going to be here. So
agreed, 100%. Because you got to think about it. The Miami Dolphins are going to have to eat some of that money as well. And then another team is going to have to sit there and agree to maybe pick up some of that money as well, too. And, we're going to want draft picks for them as well. We're not just going to give them away. That's not going to happen. So, I don't understand where a lot of people feel like, it's going to be easy just to sit there and be able to just, trade them away and everything will be fine. No, you sit there, all your money is wrapped into 5 Miami Dolphin players right now. 5 of them. So, needless to say, those players are not going anywhere. The only player I see right now that probably might not return back to this team next year and they might move away from is Chubb. That might be the only player right now out of that. Other than that, you got people right now that, this person, that person, they're not going anywhere. Unless they can find the right deal to sit there and deal them to get something back for them, then that's different. But Tyreek ain't going nowhere. Ramsey's not going nowhere. Tua's not going nowhere. Like, those guys are not going anywhere as much as the fan base want them to sit there and either be traded or going from this team. They're not.
no, because if you do, you're leaving way too much dead cap money that now you can't afford to pay other players. You got $110 million tied up between Tua, Waddle, and Hill. They're not going anywhere.
Right. Nope. Not at all.
I do agree that we need to change this play of things of going from a finesse team to more of a dog team. Yeah, there's guys out there, like Sealer that bust their tail and are ticked at players like Tyreek who just do as they please and take themselves out of the game. But I'm sure of that. But we need more players that want to bust their tail and want to. We got to be, the dog team, not the finesse team.
Well, it starts from the coaches. It starts from the coaches stop trying to be buddy with everybody and actually sit there and be hard nosed like we had a coach before that sat there and was getting and putting their foot in asses instead of trying to be buddy. This buddy shit is not fucking working. It's not about, oh, I want him to be my friend and be likable. Fuck that. It is time for us to sit there and get our nose and our hands and our feet and everything dirty and sit there and become a physical team. We are never going to win a Super Bowl. We are never going to win a playoff game until we become a physical team and a disciplined team, not showing up to practices and meetings late. Until we can get out that mindset, until we can get out that bullshit, and don't get me wrong, those men have families. I get it. Things happen. I do get that. But when it's a normal thing that people are showing up to practices late and it's unexcusable, it's starting to show on the field as well. So until we sit there and get some type of discipline, and this is everywhere, front office, owner, everything. Until we can get this mentality from, okay, we just want to skate through and put up a good product to, oh, we really, really want to fucking win. We're not going to win anything. We're not. And I'm a diehard fan. I love this team, but I am real with myself. We are not going to win anything until we sit there and decide that we act. Don't sit there and say you want to be the dogs. Don't sit there and say all this bullshit in the preseason or even training camp where we're going to be the dogs, we're going to be the team, and then go out there and don't be nowhere near what the fuck you said you were going to be. Because that's what I got from last training camp and watching the damn press conferences from the coaches and the players that talked a good game. But when you went out there, it was something completely effing different. So until we can get the mentality right where we do want to become bullies, that we do want to become a physical team, and then the players some of these players stop being prima donnas and stop thinking about themselves and thinking about the team first instead of themselves first, we are not going to win anything.
Yeah, I mean, look at the teams that are left in the playoffs. Washington can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit lost, but they can run the ball. Kansas City can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia can run the ball. LA can run the ball. Look at the teams that are in the playoffs. They've proven it. A good offensive line with even a top half running back. You don't have to have the best running back in the league, but if he's 10th, 12th, 16th in the league, you can run the ball. That's what you need. We don't do that.
No, you're absolutely right.
Renegade, I agree with you. We need to search far and wide for physical players who love the tough aspect of football.
Mm-hmm. I would like in my human existence to be able to say I've physically seen the Miami Dolphins win a Super Bowl. But I think a lot of us are not going to be able to say that or see that until this organization get their heads out their asses instead of just throwing money to big names and thinking like, oh, well, we got this person, we got that person. And all of a sudden, because it doesn't work out or they piping up their quarterback to make him bigger than what he is, and he didn't turn out the way that you thought he was going to turn out, and now you're mad. Don't get mad because you got under 1,000 yards. You should be mad that you didn't make the fucking playoffs. That should be the first thing you should be mad about, not because you didn't get 1,000 yards. Stop thinking about individual, because I already know that you had signing bonuses and shit stating that you would get 1,000 yards, and you probably pissed because you didn't get it. Shake, what's up, brother?
What's up, Shake Money?
Oh, living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
I mean, if the team doesn't get more physical on the offensive side of the ball and be able to run the ball more consistently, and we're going nowhere fast. So,
no, not at all. I don't like saying these things, but it's the truth. Like, really, I'm not going to sit here and try to put sugar on shit. This is just what it is. We as a fan base know our team. We as a fan base go through the good, bad, and indifferent with this team. We as a fan base are always going to agree to disagree on certain things and certain points. But at the end of the day, it don't matter if a fan base of this team or any other team, if you don't have some type of physicality, you're not going to be in a position like the Washingtons, like the Detroits, like the Rams, the Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, and the Baltimore Ravens and KC. You are not going to be thought of to be even mentioned in those echelons. So with that being said, we're going to be who we're going to be unless we decide to make a difference and a change. That's just what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I mean, you can put lipstick on a pig; it's still a pig.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, it depends what kind of lipstick you're putting on.
But there we go. Here the fuck we go.
Lipstick on a pig; it's still a pig. So
it depends on the lipsticks and how many beers you had. But anyway, but no, I think here's the thing. I think you have you need the ability to have both, be physical and finesse, because that's what Kansas City, the Patriots. You look at all these teams; they've had the ability to do both. Be physical and finesse when they need to be. You need to be multifaceted.
absolutely, but unfortunately, our offense is built strictly on finesse, and as we've seen, yeah, you can beat the bad teams, you can beat the average teams, you can't beat the good teams because they're more physical and can run the ball on you and keep the ball, and you got to be able to run the ball and give your defense a break, and you can't do that when your offensive line, your two guards are rated 2 of the worst guards in the entire league.
Mm-hmm.
True, Magoo.
And hopefully this year, Chris Greer goes into the draft thinking, all right, we need an offensive line, whether we draft one and get one in free agency or we draft 2 of them, because you can't afford to go out and get 2 great guards in free agency. You don't have that kind of money.
Correct.
Draft some young kids, develop them, maybe get one in free agency to shore up that line, and then see what happens. I mean, you got talent. The problem is that talent doesn't do you a whole lot of good when your quarterback's got to get rid of the ball so quick, or you're playing east-west all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's funny is, like I said, fan how you want fan, but everybody, I guarantee you, this mock draft is going to be mocking the Dolphin fans that don't like Tua are going to be mocking Dolphins getting another quarterback. I don't see them. I see them drafting a quarterback, but I think no earlier than the 3rd round.
Dude, we need 2.
I don't even think we draft in the 3rd. I think if we take a quarterback, it's not going to be till late 5th, 6th, 7th.
I'm just saying if they do draft one early, I think the earliest they would draft one would be the 3rd round.
Yeah, because you got too many other holes you got to fill before that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we go after Mac Jones on free agency.
Yeah, that's what I've been advocating for, because at the end of the day, they could run the same style of system. He's he's an anticipating thrower. He's a pocket guy. He does everything that Tua does well. So I think that way you don't have to reconfigure the offense once Tua gets injured, or if Tua gets injured. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be the perfect fit. Just like Tyler Huntley was somewhat of a fit when Lamar Jackson got injured, because he was able to do what Lamar Jackson did. Not to the level of Lamar Jackson, mind you, but he was able to do certain things that Lamar Jackson was able to do.
Right. He's more of a running quarterback and getting out of the pocket and making plays. And he's not a pocket quarterback to sit there, and have to be accurate and timing. And that's what you need. And Mac Jones came out of the same system in Alabama that Tua did. So, yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not sold on Mac Jones, but if they sign him as a backup, I wouldn't be heartbroken.
Right. And sidebar, Paul, your favorite quarterback actually was in a couple plays and scored a touchdown, Teddy Bridgewater, because Golf got hurt. He got knocked out the game for a couple plays, and Teddy Bridgewater came in, and they did a reverse and scored a touchdown off of it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about Teddy Underwater.
Oh, that's your favorite player. Don't talk about your favorite player like that. Oh man. But yeah, we got some work to do. And like I keep telling everybody, we don't know what the Jets are gonna do, but they're gonna come back fierce as ever. We all see Buffalo right now, second seed in the playoffs, and we'll see what they do against Baltimore today. And the New England Patriots got a lot of draft picks and a lot of money to spend. And rumor has it they're going after T. Higgins. So
Renegade, a lot of us were upset that we let Chris Brooks go. Trust me.
Oh man.
He was the power back that we needed for the short 3rd and 1s.
Mm-hmm. That's the part. That part right there. That's that part.
But even Chris Brooks, if we had him behind this offensive line, it might have made a little bit of a difference, but not enough. When your offensive line cannot push forward and they're always getting pushed back, I don't care who you got back there running.
As Renegade said, Eichenberg is on the ground more than the soil.
Absolutely. How many times have I said it? I could go out there and be Liam Eichenberg. I can go on laying the ground every play.
Yeah, Renegade. McDaniel keeps 205-pound Jeff Wilson, who he never uses anyway, which is about right.
Yeah.
Speed isn't everything. You got to have that power.
Mm-hmm. And McDaniel as a coach, bruh, if I hear the defense calling screen right away, bruh, man, what the, oh my God, that screen right from the door, screen. I'm like, damn, man.
And if you look at the 2000 Canes, one of the reasons why they were such a great team was because they had a good combination of speed and power on that team.
Right. What can we do? I mean, literally.
Wait and see.
Yep.
Mr. Johnny O, wait and see.
I'm sure everybody saw that we're playing in Spain this year.
Yes.
My guess is Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There was a leak that said Washington, but I'm waiting to see if that's true or not.
Yeah, we're not going to know for sure until they release it in beginning of May.
Well, we might find out before that, but there was a leak last week that said Washington.
I already talked to one of my friends, my good friend Jan Norgard from Denmark. She's saying that she's going to try to get her and her son tickets as soon as they go on sale. So she's keeping an eye on that. And I already know that Dirk is probably working on something to go over there also, along with the UK fans as well. So we're going to be represented very well over there in Spain.
As season ticket holder, we're allowed to put deposits down on tickets, which include air flights and everything, but they want a $500 deposit.
Well, how much is the total package?
There's different packages is the whole thing. They don't say.
Okay.
There's different packages depending on where you want to sit and stuff. But I decline that because there's just no way I can afford it.
Right.
We might even have to end up canceling because of certain things going on. We might even have to end up canceling our cruise to Rome or going over to Rome and cruising back. So it's all a wait and see. Like Johnny O says, we just got to wait and see on things.
Absolutely.
Because they want a $500 deposit per ticket that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted 2 tickets for the wife and I, it'd be a $1,000 deposit.
But that doesn't tell you what it includes.
It includes the airline. It includes, I think it includes a hotel, and it includes your ticket.
Yeah, but they could come back a month from now, 2 months from now, and say, well, the total package is $3,000 a person.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
fuck that.
I'd rather just do it myself.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but that's the only way you're going to be guaranteed a ticket, really.
right.
Yeah. For 3,000, I could get Sunday ticket and a nice TV.
Hey, listen, I can be right here in my house, make my own wings, get my own liquor, got my own party favors, I can pass out after the game, and look, and if it gets too bad, I can sit there and go do something else real quick and come back. So
For
you know,
$3,000, winners, I could fly you and I down to Papa Paul's house. We could put a sign up that says Madrid and watch it at his house.
family, we could do that for damn near almost. You could listen. You could do that for less than $1,000. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, I'm
And-
glad you were going. Yeah, Jake.
No, I don't say. And remember, Spain used to belong to Florida. Florida used to belong to Spain. So technically, Tampa probably was Madrid Junior or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's. See, I don't. I mean, I like that the organization is offering that. I don't like the fact that they're not telling you you're going to stay at this hotel and fly on this airline, and they're just saying, oh, you could put a deposit down, you're guaranteed a ticket. Well, what about the rest of it? How much is the package going to cost?
Right.
I mean, I know I can get on my app and fly over there, probably cheaper than what they're going to do it for. May not be as comfortable, but.
And if you can't afford it, do you get your deposit back?
Yeah, I don't think it's probably non-refundable. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, which is garbage because let's say they come out and say the package is $3,000 per person. You're like, nah, that's more than I thought it was. I can't do it. Give me my deposit back.
Yeah. No, I just passed it up all in all. Depending on when the game is, it depends on right now.
Yeah, right. That's the other thing. I mean, if that game's in December, how can I pay for everything knowing that I may not even be able to leave Jersey because of the weather?
Absolutely.
And let's just say the game's in end of September. Well, that's in the middle of hurricane season. You could get stuck and not be able to leave Florida because of a hurricane.
Right.
And there is talk that it's supposed to be in October, but that's talk, as we know.
That's still hurricane season, so you could make all these plans, and then the week before, 10 days before, they're saying, "Oh, Hurricane so and so is going to be here on Thursday," and that's the day you were planning to fly out, and then what?
Joe Rist, that is for season ticket owners.
I mean, I want to go to Spain. I'm hoping I can. We'll wait and see, but
yeah, I don't think I'll be able to go, so I'm not going to worry about it.
It's funny because I said to my wife this morning at breakfast, I said, Dolphins are playing in Spain this year. You want to go? She looked at me and goes, what? I said, they're playing in Spain. Do you want to go on vacation?
Right.
Well, we only have a few minutes left. Shake already dropped out, I guess. I was going to ask him what he's got going on this week. I know he's got his show on Friday that he's been doing. Yeah, Joe, Spain. I love Spain when I was over there too. It's beautiful over there, but you grab multiple ticks, let us know. That's a problem. There's so many people that will want tickets at a time that they're hard to come by and the prices go up quick.
Oh, hell yeah. Shit, listen, even if I flew over there for vacation and I had to sit in a pub and watch the game, okay, I'll sit in a pub.
See, that's one thing my wife wouldn't do. If we're going over there for the game, she wants to go to the game.
Oh no, I would want to go, but if the ticket prices get too expensive, take the vacation, go over there, sightsee, do stuff, and go from there. I mean, I'm not paying $1,000 to go into a Dolphins game.
I definitely hear you on that, brother. I definitely hear you on that.
Anything else we got to say, guys?
Well, right now, I just say this. Don't be surprised if we got some upsets today, too, just like we did last night. I'm looking forward to some really good football, and I want to thank the folks on every platform that got up this morning and actually took time to watch us and listen to us this morning. So I definitely want to thank everybody for that.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for your comments and questions and things like that, because that's what keeps the show running. And it's the off season for us, so the only thing we have to talk about is other teams. So when we get people in there commenting and leaving their opinions, it's good because it keeps our show running, and we appreciate that from all those people that jump in here. And whether you jump on the panel or just put in comments, that's fantastic for us.
Yep. Other than that, y'all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the games today. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Peace, love, and fins up, all.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.